Agriculture Extension and Skills Management, Directorate of Agriculture Extension Services, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Dr. Nakelet, please, you're welcome to give us some remarks as we move forward. Thank you. Just encourage him, please.
The CEO first and team, us, all stakeholders here represented. Good morning once again. I requested that maybe I thought people could be known by the forehead. The recent experience has shown otherwise, so maybe I request that I remove this mask. I think the distance is safe. I see Mr. Olupot is worried. I will try to keep the distance. So, as already introduced, I'm Henry Nakelet Olupot. That name Nakelet is a Christian name, it is not a surname. So you don't say Dr. Nakelet because Olupot is a surname. So I work as a Commissioner of Agriculture Extension and Skills Management. I've been there for, I think, this should be the 3rd month in that position. I've been in the ministry since 2004. But I've been moving from one place to another. And thank you first for inviting me. I had to come, though I'm actually on leave, because the invitation was inviting the commissioner, but with emphasis in brackets, Dr. Olupot. It's like they didn't want me to delegate. So I had to come and be part of this dialogue, and of course to say that if you also find the remarks I may make being a little bit not in context, also just know that it's perhaps the first time I'm engaging with you officially. Though I've been following so fast, but including AFAS, but hadn't really gotten to engage because there are many things to be done. But now I find myself in a position where it is inevitable to engage with you. It is good to have this engagement. My training is in agriculture, and then I try to go more into rural development. After I've even done a master's in crop science, because I have to acknowledge some of my professors are here. Dr. Miro here has been teaching me since undergraduate, even up to PhD recently. If you want to verify, you ask Mr. Owaklira Matthias. We're with him in undergraduate 95 to 99. After doing the master's in crop science, I still had to go for another master's in rural development. Why? After the Dr. Miros released me to go to the field in 99, and I became an extension worker in a sub-county in one rural district. Then the slogan there at that time was farming as a business. We need to train farmers to do farming as what? Business. So in the sub-county I was actually full of my relatives. It is where my maternal grandmother came from. So after the training, They went out, a few of my uncles, I found them standing out. Then they called me, Ochenyo. Ochenyo in that is his nephew, you can confirm. Nephew first come. The things you're saying are very true. And we're happy to know that we have such a bright nephew. All that you've said, we actually know them. They are very okay and it would be good to do them. In fact, to assure you, the issue of saying you must do budgeting, before you do anything, you must cost what the inputs and so on so that you know what the profits you will get. We shall not do it. As frankly as that. Said we shall not do it because they say we are aware the moment we do that, we shall stop farming. We shall stop farming. We actually know we are making losses, but for the sake of having food in the house, we shall do what we are doing, but we shall not do those that kind of writing you're talking about. Another one was issue of promoting tractorization. And you take them through saying how they should adopt, accept to hire tractors for their plowing and so on. And you take them through in terms of time, what do the tractors do, even in terms of the cost. Really find that comparing the tractor and oxen, the tractor would be cheaper. That's an advantage in all ways. Then you have put the comparison there. So which one is better? The tractor. So which one will you use? Oxen. And why? The farmer suffers. The person comes, you have to pay cash. But with this oxen, it is perhaps a neighbor, perhaps a relative. Sometimes payment can be made in kind. After the person has plowed, can probably cut a bunch of matoke and you value that. How much is this? And the person goes. So, the issue is we are taking people to understand the farmer's context. What does the farmer need? And I think the president also, I think last week when he was in Teso, made such a comment that we have emphasized for a long time to tell farmers, people work hard, work hard. But he said, why do you tell people to work hard? We're telling them how to work hard. How? And what is the benefit of that working hard? So friends, it's only critical that as we work as stakeholders, as actors in whatever field, the key message is what is the farmer's context and what is our contribution to changing the farmer's livelihood. Today we're talking about climate smart agriculture. I would be interested to clearly know from everybody what it is, our understanding, and what are we doing about climate smart agriculture, and what are the actual deliverables. Sometimes we create many slogans and drive on them. At the end of the day, we look for another slogan to have a new strategy. But I think it is really time for us to become relevant in the sector. I'm happy we come together to do self-evaluations, to know what we are doing. And what will be important for us is to really follow what we are doing and see how it is impacting on the farmer. Without that, we remain in the boardrooms. As the CSA stakeholders, where are we standing today in trying to contribute to the new theme of agro-industrialization as espoused in NDP 3? which aim is really to increase incomes and improve the quality of life of our Ugandans. In the different value chains, we as CSA actors, where do we stand and what are we? Are we actors, supporters, or enablers? That definition will also help us then know what exactly we are supposed to do. We talk about knowledge and skills, I was hearing. But whose knowledge and skills is really critical now for us to improve? Is it ours or for the extension worker and the farmer? And if it is the latter, we need to have a clear path of how we're getting to the farmer. Some people get stunned a little bit. Sometimes I say, I'm not a very good fan of having more platforms and platforms, more policies and policies. Though many times, also as a ministry, we say how many policies have been approved. But it is not real to me. It is not an issue of policies, not an issue of laws, but what is it that we need to do? If we have to be smart in trying to address climate change challenges, what is it that we need to do? What does a farmer need to have? What are the breeds, varieties, infrastructure, machinery that the farmer needs to have so as to be smart in beating the challenges of climate change? That is what we should be looking at in making our agriculture smart in the face of the changing climate. There have been a lot of initiatives, both at private and public sectors, that we need to see. Eventually, perhaps through this dialogue, what has been the impact? What are the lessons that should be taken on? At the ministry level, of course, there are many small projects that have been piloted here and there, but there is now a bigger plan to get bigger projects even. But before that, we're engaging a consultancy to undertake zonal climate risk profiles to develop them. That will guide the different interventions. I think this will be done by SEAT. We should be signing a contract with them very soon. In extension, where I'm now positioned and blessed to have you as stakeholders, of course, we also know that the extension strategy that we've been implementing is expiring this financial year. So we need to develop a new strategy for the next 5 years. Those are our proposals. There have been, of course, issues about single spine extension. We've gone 5 years now. What has happened? We've recruited extension workers, but everybody's still saying we're not seeing extension workers. With you together, of course, you'll have again to assess what is the responsiveness of the public extension to public investments, and what has been the role of the non-state actors, and how do we then strengthen our involvement, because we are all delivering for the farm, not in competition, but in collaboration. And I think there is also, relating to climate, informing farmers, the ministry paid up or subscribed to the Agriculture Observatory. And I think there are efforts going on. This is like a forecasting tool, which is really quite specific to small areas, 9-kilometer radius. So because now today you will see rain it may rain here. The moment you go to Nakawa, there is no rain. So you might say because there's rain, then you tell a person in Uganda, I think you start planting. It doesn't work. So we need to get those specific forecasts. And I think here, Madam Imelda Kanzomba there is one of those going through the training process. So those are the kind of initiatives that we're having. There is a proposal to get a project really that is addressing climate smart agriculture in the highland areas and the cattle corridor. So all these should be areas of engagement, but I'm also proposing before end of the year, I should have had an engagement with the CEO UFAS and the board, because there are many things you're doing that have been was following, but we need now to discuss together and see how do we move forward. What new thing do we need to do to strengthen the delivery of the extension in the country? Friends, we need to become leaders in the sector other than observers. During my PhD study, I came across a publication by Professor Chiwika that says the title is Professional Ignorance and Non-Professional Experts. Well, this was an issue of vanilla production in Guigwe here. There's a situation whereby the farmers and the traders were more knowledgeable in vanilla production than the extension workers and the researchers alike. But I take that forward to say, in the agricultural sector today, the non-professionals are the ones speaking a lot for the sector, and the professionals are called in to listen. And I think it's not right. It is us now to assert our position, working together, having a common voice, and really presenting to show that we are technically there. We are presenting what is relevant, not jargon, as Mr. Olupot said. And what we are saying really translates to a farmer getting income in his pocket. Short of that, we shall still be invited by non-professionals to participate in agricultural functions. Friends, I know at about 12 o'clock I will be leaving because I have another activity in Serena. But this is only the beginning of our engagement. I'll be resuming work next week. And as I said before the year ends, I will need to have an engagement with the UFAS, because that is also key about professionalizing extension. We need to get a common ground on what we really mean by professionalizing extension. With those long remarks, you allow me then to say the dialogue is officially open. Thank you very much.